Hello guys, and welcome to this Battle Droid B1 painting tutorial. First, we need to start with a good base, and I'm going to start with Fire Drake from Army Painter. It's a speed paint that I'm going to be using to cover the whole model. If it's too thick, we simply add a little bit more of the speed paint medium to have the right consistency. Obviously, milk consistency is the thing that we are aiming for. We cover the whole model, and we try to move the paint from the recesses into the recesses, and from flat surfaces we try to move it, preventing any pooling, unless we actually want some pooling in a certain area. But overall, we try to make it as even as possible, like so. So next we use green-black to cover the weapons. We are coloring the weapons. I wouldn't call it painting, because it's a speed paint tutorial, so we are not actually painting anything. We are coloring the model to make it better, to make it look better on the tabletop, so it's not gray and there's no shame. So on the chart, on the stat sheet, we've got some red color, and we are going to use Dragon Red to add some highlights onto the model, some detail. It's the shoulders. You can do different colors for different squads, but I decided to go with the red for the whole thing. So that's how it looks like. And now we do a whole dry brush on the whole model. We need to make sure that the model is completely dry, and the previous stages are completely dry, like the speed paint and the red. And when we're done, you can see the difference. It's much lighter. Now we need to highlight the red, so we go over the red again on the most, raised areas, just to add a little bit of highlight. We could have waited with the red until we finished with the dry brush, but that's just how I went with it this time. Now, with the bases. The bases are done really simply. So we take the models off the cork bases, clean the feet with the X-Acto knife, and add some super glue, and then dip their toes and knees into the glue. Dip, 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 and place the models on the base. Remember that the Battle Droids B1, there are 3 of them on the big 50mm base, so you need to make sure that there's space for every single one. Don't put one model in the center and the rest of them try to squeeze them in somehow. Try to find space for every single model, so there, there's some space between them. They wouldn't go and hug, each other's shoulders. Since the models don't want to stand on their own, like, surely, I use a super glue activator and just go spray on the base to hold the models in place. We put the last model. Make sure that they have firing lanes. Each model can actually shoot somehow. It doesn't really matter for the game, but to make it as realistic as possible, so to speak. So now we go to pigments, and I'm using this old Chromlech pigment that will allow me to tie in this sandy base with the models. And I always try to make the feet dirty, so it looks like they're actually stepping in this sand. And they got basically weathered. It adds a little bit of detail. It's not really necessary if you don't want to, but you can also do a dry brush. We cover it with IPA alcohol to make the pigment bite into the plastic, and then we use a hair dryer to dry it off. Quite easy process, no brainer, really. Now we've got one less step that's ahead of us, and that's trimming the bases. We use matte black, the only color that you should be using for base rims, and we clean them up And that's how the models look like. Thank you for your attention. If you would like more of these videos, let me know in the comments. And like and subscribe and all that. Thank you.